All right, everyone, settle in because today we're doing a deep dive into something I think is super practical and honestly pretty transformative. We're talking about how to move past just, knowing English to
Yeah.
actually uh, using it confidently, naturally, in real conversation. So our source material for this, it's this really fantastic excerpt from a script called English Learning for Real Life. And it's basically designed to help you build that kind of English fluency that just feels, well, effortless, authentic, not like you're constantly translating inside your head.
Exactly. And our mission today really is to unpack that material. We want to pull out some nuggets, some immediately usable insights. So whether you're, say, a student getting ready for a presentation, or maybe a professional dealing with international calls, or, just someone wanting to connect better when traveling or socially, we want to help you express yourself more easily and, importantly, with genuine politeness.
Yeah, and what I found really interesting right off the bat in this material is how it kind of zeroes in on this key tension. It's the difference between that rigid, maybe grammatically perfect English we learn from books and the much more dynamic, fluid English we actually use.
Yeah.
Like when you're grabbing coffee or chatting with colleagues or just hanging out with friends, it's rarely that formal, is it?
No, not at all. And that's what this material really hammers home. It says, look, grammar rules, big vocabulary words, they have their place, sure. But real life communication, it really thrives on these practical everyday phrases, the stuff that helps you actually express yourself confidently. It's maybe less about perfection and more about what you might call social fluency, just fitting in smoothly in English speaking situations.
Okay, let's make this concrete then. Let's unpack it with some examples that kind of show these principles. It starts with something basic. Self-introductions. That classic, almost like robotic phrase. My name is Raj. I am from India. Grammatically fine, yes, but.
A bit stiff, right? And what's fascinating is how just a few simple tweaks can totally change the feel. So instead, the material suggests something more like, hey, I'm Raj. Nice to meet you. I'm originally from India, but I live in Bangalore now. See that? That originally from X, but I live in Y now bit. It's not just extra info. It kind of subtly invites more conversation. It hints there's a story there, which is, a big part of natural interaction, building that rapport right away.
Absolutely. Yeah, rapport. And that idea, adding warmth, inviting interaction, it seems to pop up everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like the material then takes us to a coffee shop scenario. How does that same principle work when you're just ordering a drink? We've all heard it, maybe even said it. Give me a coffee. But it can sound, well, pretty blunt.
hmm And this is a perfect place where those modal verbs come in handy, like can or could. They're not just grammar points, they're powerful tools for politeness. They express possibility, permission. They make your language much less direct, much more socially acceptable. So instead of give me coffee, the material suggests much warmer options. Hi, can I get a cappuccino, please? Or maybe, could I have it with almond milk? Oh, adding, please, using can I get. It instantly changes the dynamic. You're not demanding, you're making a polite request. It's a small shift, grammatically, but it has this huge social impact in English.
Right. Huge impact. And politeness, like you said, it's not just for coffee shops. It's just as crucial, maybe even more so, at work and professional settings. How does the material suggest we apply these ideas in, say, an office?
Well, what the material advises there is really about showing consideration, thinking about other people's time, their schedules. So instead of just launching into your topic, maybe try starting with, hey, do you have a minute? Or can we maybe go over the project timeline? Or even something like, let me know what works for you. These aren't just polite phrases, they're practical. They function as hedges. They help facilitate collaboration instead of just stating a demand, which is obviously vital in professional life. It shows you're considerate.
Consider it. And then there's small talk, which, let's be honest, a lot of English learners find really tricky, but it's so important for building connections. The material gives some great simple examples. So how's your day going? Or what do you usually do on weekends? Or even, that's interesting, I've never heard about that before. These aren't like deep philosophical questions, but they open doors, don't they? It reminds me, actually, I was at this networking thing once and someone just launched into their full business pitch. No hi, no how are you? It was just jarring. This material really kind of hits home why those little questions matter so much.
Exactly. Think of small talk like warm-up stretches before the main workout. You wouldn't just jump straight into heavy lifting, right? So the material points out small talk is this critical social lubricant. It's not really about gathering deep information. It's about showing you're engaged, you're willing to connect. It creates a comfortable space for, well, maybe more substantive conversations later. It builds that rapport we mentioned earlier.
Okay, and what about asking for help? That's something we all need to do. especially if you're learning or in a new place. The material suggests things like, "Excuse me, could you help me find this place?" Or, "Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat it?" And this next one really struck me. "I'm still learning English, so please bear with me."
Yes. What's really powerful there, and the material highlights this, is the element of vulnerability. Just admitting you're still learning often makes native speakers more empathetic, more patient. It turns what could be a barrier into potentially an opportunity for connection. People genuinely appreciate that honesty and effort. It's a very pragmatic approach, really. Invites understanding.
So, okay, we've covered a lot about what to say and how to say it more naturally. But how do you actually practice this stuff? Without a teacher right there. The material gives some fantastic daily practice tips, my personal favorite. Talking to yourself in English. I know it might feel a bit weird at first, but seriously, speaking out loud, even just to your reflection in the mirror, it builds amazing confidence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The material emphasizes that talking to yourself, even if it feels odd, is a really powerful way to internalize language patterns, build fluency. It also suggests, watching English shows or movies with subtitles. But here's the key bit. Focus on how people speak, their intonation, the pauses they use, not just the words. It's about capturing those natural rhythms, that tone. It's a kind of auditory immersion.
Exactly. Auditory immersion. I like that.
Uh-huh.
And the tips keep coming. Using language exchange apps to chat with people worldwide, recording your own voice,
Yeah.
cringy maybe, but helpful, to hear where you can improve. And joining online English groups like on Facebook or Telegram or WhatsApp, places where you can actually read, write, and speak with other people. These are all really practical, low-stress ways to just weave English into your daily routine.
Definitely. But what holds all this practice together, this is where the material touches on something maybe even more crucial than the practice methods themselves. It's your mindset. So many learners feel shy or they're scared of making mistakes, and that fear, it can be a huge hurdle.
Oh, this is such a massive point. The material actually says, and I love this, mistakes mean you're trying, and trying is the only way to grow. It also reminds us that everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. That's such a powerful idea to really let sink in.
It really is. What the material is stressing here is fundamentally self-compassion and reframing mistakes. They're not failures, they're essential steps, learning opportunities. The core message is be kind to yourself. Focus on communication, not some impossible standard of perfection. Whether your progress feels slow or fast, every single step forward counts, especially when you're building that confidence. This is where, those effective factors in language learning really come into play.
So wrapping this deep dive up, what does this all really mean for you listening right now?
Well, I think the core message from this material is crystal clear. English isn't just, a subject for exams or a tool for your job. It's a living, breathing, powerful tool for self-expression, for connecting with totally different cultures, for personal growth, professional growth. It's like a key, really, unlocking new experiences. hmm And just to echo that, remember what the material emphasized. Practice is key. Even small steps, consistently. Every little bit of effort adds up. But just as important is that mindset piece. Focusing on clear communication over flawless perfection. Being kind to yourself. Knowing that mistakes aren't just okay, they're actually a vital part of the journey. It's about embracing the whole process.
So as you think about your own English learning path, here's a final thought for you to chew on, something provocative perhaps. Think about your own English usage. Is there one textbook phrase you tend to rely on? And how could you maybe transform it, using some of the ideas we talked about today, into something more natural, more real life? Or maybe think about those daily practice tips. Which one are you going to actually try out this week to start building your confidence and fluency? Give it some thought, give it a try, and keep diving deep.